Welcome to a Chart Nerd technical analysis video. Today we will be discussing the likes of RIO on its weekly time frame. Now before I start, this video is not financial advice and is all for educational and entertainment purposes only. However, I hope you do enjoy the content. Let's dive in. So analyzing RIO here on its weekly time frame, I wanted to give a breakdown of the PA since its all-time low back in May of 2023. So what initially happened under this key level of resistance in May is we had a low, which is the all-time low. We ran up into this resistance, we came back for our higher low, and then when we got the breakout, RIO in fact never looked back until it pushed on to its current all-time high of March 2024, which sits roughly at $3.15. So it had a really nice impulsive move, and since has had this correction which has come back down to a key level of support. So breaking down this impulsive move which led to the all-time high, again we had the double bottom underneath this level of resistance back in 2023, which then led to the impulsive breakout before a correction to a key level of support before finally putting in a large macro move to the all-time high. So if we give this sort of wave count from the all-time low to the current all-time high, you'll notice we had this wave 1, we had a wave 2, we had a wave 3, a wave 4, and then a macro wave 5. So a 5-wave complete move here that led to the all-time high. Now from this all-time high, we have then had another 5-wave correction. We had this wave 1, we had a wave 2, we had this wave 3, we had a wave 4, and then we got this wave 5, which led RIO back down to this key level of support from back in December of 2023. So right now, the macro level of support for RIO, albeit considered we are still relatively quite far away from this zone, is around 50 cents. Now again, what initially happened here, if we go back to the wave count, we've got the wave 1, the wave 2, this was the wave 3, this was the wave 4 low, and then this was the wave 5. So what's initially happened is from the all-time high, we've had the 5-wave corrections. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this 5th wave came back down to the wave 4 low of this 5-wave impulsive move on the way up to the all-time high. So this is why I think right now this is a very key level of support. It's a previous wave 4 from a macro EW 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, and this support level has fallen right back to that wave 4 and was the wave 5 of the corrective move from the all-time high. So I hope you're still with me. We had 5 macro waves up, and then we had this 5-wave correction, which really and truly, if you think about the sort of key level of resistance and support, this was some sort of falling channel, and we was caught between a level of resistance and support, came back down to this wave 4 low of the previous impulsive move, and then managed to get the breakout of this resistance. Now this was back in September. From September we then pulled back down, and as you can see, we floated along the previous resistance, turned it into support, and then got the push up, which initially took out the prior highs of September. So this high here on the 2nd of December is a good sign, because it did take out the previous high, but you can also see that this was a key level of resistance that needed to be reclaimed. So on July of 2024, it was a level of resistance. Fast forward over to September, very, very shy, but a close level to the level of resistance. And then back in December of this year, of 2024, we also ran into it once more. So this is a very strong level of resistance at around $1.45, and we have a key level of support at 50 cents. So this is quite a large range, but what I was focusing on is this 5-wave correction. It was a corrective channel. We had the breakout, we had the retest to confirm it for support. We put in another high that ran up to the key level of resistance at $1.45, and right now we're pulling back for a key level of support, I think, before continuing to actually take this high out and push on to higher targets. So bear with me. What we're going to do is remove the last sort of few waves that we've had on, and how I'm going to analyze where key support could be is by going from this local high that we've ran into in December and pulling back to the key support macro low of 49 cents. So if we get the key support level on right now, we want to look for the golden ratio support zone, which is between the 0.50 and the 0.618 on the retracement from this $1.56 high back down to this 50-cent low. Now what you can see is that already for the last sort of 3 to 4 weeks, RIO has been floating on 88 cents, which is the 050 and is a key level of support. Now we are seeing the push down this week, and if we do see a retracement any further, I think the 0618 at 77 cents will act as a key level of support moving forward. And also what this actually ties up with, if we get an ascending support line on for RIO right now, which from these candle close lows in September, you know, we had the first point of contact, we came up to a high. We came back for 3 to 4 weeks back on this ascending support line, this white trend line, for another level of support before pushing onto a higher high. Now, once again, you can see that we've been pushed back down and are coming back down to this white trend line and the 0618 around the golden ratio for a key level of support. So I think all that's trying to happen right now is that from the local high where we've met resistance in early December, we've had the really strong push down, we've consolidated, we're trying to hold 88 cents, but failing to close above that this week. I think it gives more likelihood that we're going to come to 77 cents, of which at that point, again, as you can see, we've run into resistance. This was support, resistance, possibly come down to support, and then look for the break again. And hopefully this is where we can tackle out of that key level of resistance that we've been monitoring at around $1.45 and reclaim it. So it's all about reclaiming this key level of resistance at around $1.45 and holding 77 cents on this retracement. Now, albeit considered, if we do see a darker turn in the markets and altcoins do, you know, sort of continue to crash over the next couple of weeks, then 50 cents is just a key level of support moving forward. Now, I'm not saying that's going to come into fruition, but you can see here over the past, since December of 2023, so over a year, this has been a key level of support. Now, bullish targets for me, if we can manage to find a low within this sort of range between 77 to 50 cents, if that low can come and we manage to see relief from within that sort of range, I think analyzing targets going forward here, what we could have is a really next sort of large impulsive move, and this is just sort of compression before expanding here. Future targets for me moving forward for RIO, once it reclaims, this is why we can see a key level of resistance here as well. One second. Once it actually reclaims its all-time high, I think it has the chance to push on towards $10. Now, this Fibonacci right here has given the game away, and you can see that between $1.25 and $1.56, we've had multiple sort of candle closes and wicks within this area. And in fact, the wick on the 2nd of December was the first touch point on the 0618 at $1.56 on the retracement to this high. So we've got this ascending level of support right now that's holding. We're pulling back from this correction. We've got higher lows and this key level of resistance. So again, we are getting a squeeze between ascending support and this resistance at $1.56. So something is going to have to give over the next couple of weeks. And again, if we see the loss of this support and $77, I think it gives more likelihood that we push back to 49 cents. But if we can hold this ascending support line and hold around 77 cents, if we can hold around 77 cents and start to build up on this trend line, then this might be where we actually start to get the breakout of the neck of the woods and pushing back onto the all-time high. So it's all about holding this ascending support, holding 77 cents on the retracement from this 0618 at $1.56, retracing back to 49 cents. It's all about holding 77 cents and this support line. If we can hold ascending support, I think coming into the rest of Q1 will be very, very fruitful for RIO. So hold this ascending support, and it could be providing an optimal opportunity right here when everyone's very fearful. You know, RIO's down from early December around 44%. So again, just compared to the past 3 to 4 weeks, it's at a 44% discount. It's back at ascending, close to ascending support, near its golden ratio support that we was monitoring earlier, and is looking for continuation. Now, if we get the EMAs on here, you've got the 20 and 55 EMA that are very, very close to squeezing into a death cross. So what we need to see here is this be negated and these EMAs start flipping to the upside, because if we do start to see these EMAs drag down and cross over, this could give the game away that we're coming back down to 49 cents. So we want to negate a weekly death cross. We want to see consolidation here under resistance above the ascending support and literally look for the break. So you can see, look, we've just been caught between a rock and a hard place. We're coiling up with higher lows and looking for a decision, and hopefully this decision calls for a move to the upside and starts retracing back towards the all-time high. So key targets for this cycle, I think, sit between $5 to $10. you've got the 1272 and the 1618. And again, once this thing really wants to move, it can move. So after, you know, we've had quite a long correction, is this going to lead into the next leg up for RIO? Pushing on towards $10 this cycle. Regardless, if we do see this drop down and come back for a higher level, I think it just builds up a larger base, and eventually this will sort of give way to a break to the upside, just based on certain climates and conditions right now with the market. Everyone's highly anticipating a large move for altcoins, with Bitcoin dominance looking to top out. You know, Bitcoin's had a really nice move. Has it got a final leg before it decides to come down? There's so much uncertainty right now, let's put it that way. And I think just zooming out here to the macro timeframes, you can see that we've got this ascending support that's been holding since September of 2024, and you've got the key level of resistance that sits between $1.25 and $1.56. If we can get this squeeze over the next couple of weeks, I think we're looking for a breakout that would push us back towards this all-time high, and then leading into euphoria going into 2025 between $5 to $10 I think is possible for RIO. I hope everybody's enjoyed the content today. Nothing that I say is financial advice. From Chart Nerd TA. Take care. Peace out.